What's up, guys? Welcome back to Bon Appetit YouTube channel. Again, this is a Caribbean YouTube channel. Please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already done so at any time during this video. This morning, I'm excited to share with you guys my famous chicken and waffles. Yes, Southern style chicken, fried chicken, and waffles. So as you all know, if you don't already know, I always start off showing you guys how I clean my meat. All my videos will show you I start off cleaning my meat and my chicken, and then I'll jump right into it with all the fun stuff. So right now, I have vinegar right here on these chicken breasts. And what I do is, again, you pour 1 cup of vinegar water, white vinegar. Then I grab some salt, and this is iodized salt. For anyone who might be wondering, there are different types of salts. I typically use iodized salt when I'm cleaning my chicken and meat. And then I usually use 2 slices of lemon. Fast and simple, guys. Again, this is the Haitian way. We just like to make sure that our meats are really cleansed properly. And, well, I wouldn't say properly. I get it. Some people just use water. But our tradition is different. We use vinegar and lemon. Vinegar on our meats, and then lemon on most of our seafoods like fish. So, because believe it or not, I've gotten that question many times. How do I clean my meat? How do I prepare the meat? So I just think it's important to share the whole process with my viewers. It's very fast, it's very simple. Typically, believe it or not, on these 4 chicken breasts, it literally is taking me less than 2 minutes. All you're doing is just rubbing the lemon all around the chicken breast. Okay. I squeeze the lemon on top, and then I rub. And you'll see inside your bowl the color, and you'll see all the stuff that comes off of the chicken if you ever decide to do this process. Again, it's not mandatory, but I like to share my entire process with my viewers. So I hope that's helpful for you guys. All right, so that was that. And right here, as you can see, this is what comes off the chicken when you use the lemon, salt, and vinegar. Some people use just vinegar. Some people use just lemon. I just go a little bit extra. I always rinse off my bowl thoroughly. I'll throw the chicken back in there so they can get a good rinse. Again, it's really a fast process. It should take you less than 5 minutes depending on the amount of meat that you're cooking, of course. But in today's case, where I'm only cooking 4 strips of chicken breast, as you guys can see, I rinse each chicken strip separately. And then what I typically do is I set it to the side so that way I can go ahead and, believe it or not, I wash the bowl. I do that process. I do wash the bowl just to get all that stuff off the bowl, because I'm going to continue to use it when I'm actually cooking the chicken. And voila. Clean. I grab the chicken strips. I place them back in the bowl. And now we're ready to marinate. And actually, before I start to season the chicken, I almost forgot the final step, which is, again, in our culture, we use boiled water. As you guys can see, the steam is coming out of it. I just boil water in a small pot, and that's our way of just assuring ourselves that, as you can see now, I like to show the water is literally almost clear and clean after cleaning the chicken with vinegar and salt. See that? Nice and clean. And then you just thaw it out. Okay. All right, now we'll move on to the next process, which is, again, seasoning the chicken. Okay, so part 2 of the video is really fast and simple. Here I have, believe it or not, my garlic. It's up to your preference. It depends on what's going on with me, what mood I'm in. It really doesn't matter. But this is garlic. You can use powdered garlic. But in this cake, I actually took garlic head and some garlic head, and I actually used my NutriBullet, and I just, whipped it up with some water to get it uh give me that juice. I wanted more of a garlic juice. And then here I have some garlic powder to add to it. Then I have some black pepper. And I will give you the exact amounts if you read below in my ingredients. It will have all of that. And this is some chicken bouillon seasoning. And then I just mix. This second part of the video, believe it or not, I'm letting the chicken marinate overnight. Because as I mentioned, this is chicken and waffles. So I typically like to prepare the chicken and marinate it overnight. That way it can have a really great and juicy and tender taste in the morning when I'm going ahead to make the waffles. So guys, while the chicken is marinating overnight in the fridge, in the meantime, what I typically do is get the coating for the chicken prepared, which is 1 full cup of flour. You can use all-purpose flour. I have about 1/4 cup, 1 teaspoon, of paprika. And that gives it a nice pretty color, to be honest with you. Here I have some all seasoning. And then a little bit of black pepper. And for some people, it's all up to your discretion. I'm not really big on salt, but some people typically might add just a little bit of salt. And in my case, when I do use salt on my foods, I like to use the pink Himalayan salt. Again, it's all to your preference, whatever salt that you use. So here I'm just gonna use 1 teaspoon of Himalayan salt. It's pink Himalayan salt. And then I just mix all of the dry seasoning together, because this is what we're going to coat the chicken with before it goes into the deep fryer. I will be using a deep fryer today. Some people use stove tops. Again, it really doesn't matter. It's whatever you can or whatever's to your preference. But again, this is the dry seasoning that I've prepared with the flour. So now we're gonna move over to my station here, where I have this is 1 cup of buttermilk. Okay. I feel that 1 cup is sufficient enough for 4 slices of chicken breast. But again, if you're cooking more chicken, then obviously you would add some more. You can then use maybe 2 or 3 cups. But I don't want to take away from the seasoning that the chicken has marinated overnight. As you can see, there's plenty of buttermilk here. Some people like to let the chicken marinate overnight in the buttermilk. I don't find any reason to. And for anyone who's wondering why the buttermilk when frying chicken, is because it makes it come out nice and crispy. It gives it that crispy, the crispiness that the chicken is looking for when frying chicken, when making Southern style chicken. Okay, so now I'm going to pour my dry seasoning from last night into this bowl. And then I'm just gonna give it a nice good mix to make sure all the seasoning is nicely mixed. And believe it or not, guys, I have my deep fryer prepped as well as my waffle maker. because as the chicken is frying, we're gonna move over to the waffles. So I'm just gonna move this over a little bit. And as you guys can see here, I'm taking the chicken. I dip it in the flour, making sure that it gets nicely coated. I like to make sure the whole chicken is nicely coated. Believe it or not, guys, I can smell the seasoning from here, and it smells so good, so delicious. And then finally, for the chicken, the last process is we move over to the deep fryer that I have already. Again, it's prepped. Okay. And okay, I'm just gonna, that's fine. Just gonna put the chicken in the fryer and fry. While I'm doing that, you guys will see take it, you dip it, this is more than enough flour for four chicken strips. And typically when I'm frying my food, I like to use vegetable oil, and that's also going to be at the bottom of my ingredient. Use some vegetable oil when frying. As you guys can see here, it's frying nice, and you'll see the end result. It'll go from that really light color to a nice golden brown color, and that's when you have the indication that your chicken is fully fried and cooked. So again, while the chicken is frying, I'm gonna move over to the waffles while we're frying the chicken, because I also have my waffle maker ready to go right here to my right. So stay tuned for the next part of this video. All right, guys, let's take a look at the results of the chicken strip. There you have it. The nice golden brown color that we're looking for when frying chicken. As you guys can see, I use a fork so you can see the tenderness on both sides. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Now let's move over to the waffles. Okay, so I'm just gonna turn the camera around where I have my station ready for the waffles. Okay, right now I'm using 1 egg. Then I'm using, as for water, I'm using, I'm actually using 2/3 cups of water. Then I'm using 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil. So that was my wet mix, okay? And then what I'm going to do is just mix it in. Mix, mix, mix. Mix, mix, mix. Then for the flour, I'm actually using 1.5 cups of flour. So this is 1 cup. And then I'm just gonna grab 1/2 cup of flour. This is 1/2 cup. Throw it in and mix. As you guys can see, as for the texture, it's thickening, which is what we're looking for. I am making just buttermilk waffles. Nothing too fancy. Sometimes I like to add stuff to it if I want to give it a different flavor. You know, like some vanilla extract or almond extract actually tastes good too. But in today's instance, I'm just making regular waffles because it's chicken and waffles. You know, I typically like to make homemade waffles, regular homemade waffles. So that way it all tastes really, 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 really. Give me that southern feel to it. Okay, now I'm just gonna move over to the waffle maker. I am using an electric waffle maker. I actually picked this one up, very inexpensive, but it does the job well done, from Walmart. It's one of my kids' favorites. There I go with my soup spoons. That's what I typically use when I'm making my pancakes and waffles. That's just what I'm comfortable using. Again, feel free to use a measuring cup. And then I just get it all in there. You want to make sure that you cover the whole thing. And waffles, guys, is a little different from pancake. It can get a little messy. And that's okay, because of course I just wipe after. But just putting it out there, it can get a little messy. Okay, so as you guys can see, it's nicely covered, and I'm about to close the waffle maker to allow it to cook. And here we go. When using a waffle maker, you know, like I said, this one is very simple. See if I can adjust the camera just a little bit. It has a blue light. It tells you that when you read the instructions, when you buy it, that you can just turn it over. Like you'll see in a few moments, I will flip it. I will turn it to allow both sides of the waffle to fully cook before taking it out. Typically, when making waffles from a waffle maker, that's another thing. It typically takes about 3 minutes tops total. It's very fast and quick.